Hi, and welcome to the video walkthrough for the Boca Stories. And when you get your link, you're going to be directed to this page. You just hit Use Template, which will bring it into your Canva design, your own Canva. And then head over to File and make a copy. And the reason why you want to do that is just so that you always have a master copy available in case you take a few left turns and you forget what the original looks like. You'll always have that to fall back on. Once you've done that, you can go over to Uploads and upload an image or video, locate your own listing photos, and bring them into Canva. And then they'll look similar to this, and then you can just go ahead and start switching things up. So if you want to change the photos, you take your own photo, hover it over the image box, which is not working because it's locked. If that ever happens, it's just check to see if it's locked, and then unlock it. So take your own listing photo, hover it over the image, and then if you don't like the positioning of it, you can always double click, and then this way you can move the positioning of it inside the box. These shapes have been created outside of Canva, so if you need to change the color, you have a few options. You can either select one of the shapes that were provided for you, so you can literally just take the shapes that were in your zip folder, so they're going to be under a folder called Shapes, and you can upload all of those shapes into Canva, and it'll look like this once you've done that. And then you just take your shape and hover it over the box until it pops into place, and that way all the adjustments that we've made for that box will be transferred over to the new shape. If you just click the shape once and bring it in, then none of the effects will be on the shape, and you can put any effects on it that you'd like. So as you can see, there's no transparency on this or anything like that. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to leave things as is and pretend like you're just dragging and dropping things into place, but just remember that you can change anything you like. So if another way to change the color of these shapes is to head over to Effects, Color Mix, and then choose a color that best represents your base color that you want to work with. So if that's this light blue, then you select the light blue, and then you can either double click that to open up this panel, in which case you can change the hue, or the saturation, which affects the depth of color. Or you can head over to Adjust and start playing around with tint, saturation. You have a lot of control over coloring images in Canva just with these tools alone. But again, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to leave everything as is and pretend you're happy with it and you just want to drag and drop and go and keep things as simple as possible. So here's where you would change the writing, the font. So if you want to change this to just sold, just remember that if you do highlight this whole thing and start typing, the entire box will lose its color. So you have to be careful and just highlight the word that you would, oh my, just lose everything? What happened? Okay, there we go. So if you don't want that to happen, what just happened to me, then just highlight the word that you want to change and then just change it to your own word. Sold over asking. Do something like that. Just change that to just sold. And now I don't like that spacing, so I'm going to go back to the spacing tab and just change that out a bit. There we go. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so once that's done, you can change this to your own URL, of course. If you're not happy with this background beige color, you can change that very easily. Just highlight it and then either choose a default color, or you can go here and choose the new color and just put in your own hex code and be very specific about it. If you have large descriptive words here that just don't fit nicely, you can always play around with the spacing. So this is a great tool to just make sure that things just fit nicely and there's nice balance. So you might have something like combined with living room or amazing, comfy, little cozy spot, and then it takes up way too much room and you have 3 lines of information and it just doesn't look nice. Well, you can adjust it by adjusting the letter spacing. Now this is a frame, so make sure not to delete this. What you want to do is just, again, hover your own photo into place and it will retain the circular aspect of it. Anything can be changed here. So if you want to select the font and then just change it to colors, just do that with the color tool. The images here, anytime you see a shape, the shape has been custom made outside of Canva, so that is something that you would have to be careful with when you are trying to adjust it. It's not something that was made in Canva, so as you can see, there's no easy way to change the color. It's doing a few runarounds, which would be going over to the effects and choosing a color that you like, or simply bringing in a new shape into the design. This is also something that was made outside of Canva, this quote icon. So if you don't like that, you can head over to Elements, type in quote, and that will bring up a whole bunch of quote options for you to change out. If you want to change the color of this, it's the exact same process. You can either go to Adjust, start playing around with the tint, or go to Effects and use Color Mix. Okay, so for things like this frame here, we have a transparency over the image, and if you like that effect, that kind of layered transparent effect, then what you're going to have to do is take your own photo and let it pop into the box. That way all the effects will transfer over. If you don't like it, then you can simply delete the box, click on your own photo to bring it in, and then drag it from the corner to resize it and place it into the position that you'd like. And this is what we call a lifestyle post. So we've created this so that you can show more of a lifestyle aspect of real estate or of your life. And I'm just going to show you what it would look like, because this is a very dramatic pose and I love it because it just shows a strong, confident businesswoman having fun. So if you want that gentler image of like a sweet moment, it works just as well. So I just wanted to show you that it doesn't have to be this powerful professional pose. It can be something really sweet, like just a sweet moment that you have with your kids, and then you can just go ahead and change this shape to any color that just kind of matches the tone of that moment. And of course you can change this to sweet moments or secrets or whatever would match that. Just a way to add more fun to your stories. Kitchen Envy, this is one of the slides that we created so that you would have more options when it comes to displaying your homes for sale. So a lot of the times when you're selling a home, there are certain aspects of that home that just stand out and that are really cool, like, you know, a cupboard under the stairs or a little desk nook or something that's just really, really great and really stands out about the home and home sellers would gravitate towards. And this is one of those slides where you would highlight it. So you put that aspect of the home and then you would put something like a tagline like Kitchen Envy or Dream Nook or something that would just really highlight that aspect of the home and get sellers' interest piqued. So this is what we call the interest slides. And of course you can change that to your own URL. Everything here you can change. If you want to add more photos to a frame, I should probably mention that. If you want to add more so there's more than one shot that you want to show, you can just drag this photo box down a bit. And then what I like to do is just copy it and then paste it so you have the same dimensions, and then bring in your own photo. So it's really that simple. And again, if it's not in the right positioning in the frame, you can always just double click and move it around. This is a quote box. You can also use it for, a quote slide. You can also use it for testimonials. Just change this to testimonials. And then write the testimonial in here. And you can make the shape bigger if you want. and then your URL here so people know where to find you or find more testimonials. This is a blog slide, but you can use it for whatever you want, of course. It just sold, open house. And the same goes for when you put the blog title here. If it's too long of a title and you need more room, you can always play around with the letter spacing to just give yourself more room or less room depending on the size of the title. And these are two separate shapes on this particular slide, so you're going to want to pay attention if you do want to change the color or you do want to change the shape itself. When you go to change it, it's a good idea to change both of them, and you're going to have to play around with it, so that's completely up to you. You can also play around with the transparency of these. So I've selected the shape, and now I'm going to head over to this transparency tool and just bring it down a bit so I can see more of the room behind it. And again, transparency tool. And now I'm going to want to bring this box right down so that you can see the whole room. That's a great way to just show more of the room if you feel like these shapes are getting in the way. And then I can double click this and move it over to show what I want to show, which is the fireplace there. And when you are ready, you head over to download, make sure PNG is selected, and you can download all 10 at once or just choose the one that you've chosen to edit that day, and then you can just download that one. For this tutorial, I'm just going to download, select all, and then download, and when they're finished downloading, it will be in a zip file on your computer. You unzip it and then send it to yourself any way that you would normally send yourself photos to post on Instagram, so AirDrop, Google Drive, Dropbox, or even emailing them to yourself works. And that's it. I hope that this was helpful, and if you have any more questions or you need any more help, please head over to 4thstreetcreative.com/tutorials for our large resource library. Happy designing!